You mentioned that often, I just have 2 more questions.
You can ask many more if you want to.
You mentioned that, I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was, in the throes of depression, it's very difficult to create. I find that I have to be in or maybe it's going back to exactly this point, is emotional courage. Is, when you are in that space and you're still able to create and confront it and I guess I just answered my own question, because I find that and I've always said to my friends, I know I'm not okay when I stop creating. And yet it should be, well, not should, but I guess I'm avoiding something. What's your view on that?
I suppose I'm trying to think about, I don't know if I'm going to answer your question, but I'm thinking about work that I've made where I've tried to draw on that deepest well of kind of emotional courage to make something. And maybe, if I compare my work to Ishkar's, perhaps I haven't had to do that. I haven't had to draw on that deepest well. But I'm trying to think of other work where artists have,
or yourself,
have confronted something through their work.
Have you ever not been in the mood to create art?
I always want to make work, okay? But my output is sporadic because I'm involved in the work of the academic institution. But I think that, for a long time I've thought about what I do in arts education as a practice in its own right, and it's not an easy way out that I'm suggesting. I think there are lots of practices that are about the kind of work that I do. It's more relational, it's more dialogical. Some people might describe it as an aesthetics of care. I suppose I'm always making work, even not physically, but in my mind. I'm always making work in a way where I'm thinking, how does work in arts education allow for a different form of society? So yes, I'd like to be spending much more time making installations, making drawings, writing, and I've got lots of work that I've made over the last 5.5 years, since 2019. But equally, the work that I do in arts education is
art.
exactly, as important. And going back to discussion around Ishkar's work and emotional courage and confronting something. I suppose one of the things I try and impress on the students that I work with is that they have these beautiful opportunities as artists to do things, that they should use them to their fullest. Don't take them for granted. I try to get students to really to speak with honesty, to make work with honesty, to us to keep an understanding what it is we experience individually, collectively. And I think Ishkar did that at a very, very intense level. Not all artists can do that. I gain a lot from working with students, with other artists. I think that was what was special about Ishkar. He was prepared to share on a very, very intense and deep level how his life and his practice were fused together. I can still see him talking to me when he explained what had happened to Vivash. And yeah, I feel privileged to have known him. And experienced his work.
I think he taught me a lot as well, and I'm only learning this. I've only been brave enough to do this now, is to be honest with myself about what I want out of life and embrace all of who I am authentically. And that's what he did, I think. He once, I don't know if you know the story, but in primary school he gave up his prefect badge because he didn't want to be able or to have to stand at the gate and measure the height of socks every morning. He thought it was absolutely ridiculous. And
I think I remember that story.
Me, I was head girl, and I was so proud of that status, and I would go walking in bathrooms to see who's bunking, but I wore that badge with such pride. Ishkar was like, this is ridiculous. From that age already, he was so, not attached to status or to proving anything to anyone except himself, and he was just who he was.
Yeah. I think, and again, I knew him for a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
But I think his moral compass was just so strong.